I wanted to bring in something about the Bhava Tanhas, and that's in Pali, the thirsts, the cravings, the things that we thirst after. And before guiding a meditation, I just wanted to introduce that, the Bhava Tanhas, briefly, but also as I've been weeding a lot the last week, and realizing how much, like as a gardener, we're choosing what we want to allow to grow. So there's a constant choosing of going, I don't, that's not really a weed any more than that is a weed. But I've decided that I want that to be there. So I don't want it to be crowded by these other things. So it's not necessarily that something is inherently not okay, but we're deciding, okay, I want to grow this here, and here I want to grow this, and here I want to grow this. Oh, and there I'll pull up all the grass, and there I'll leave some grass because there's nothing else that I want to be there. And in a sense, it reminds me of cultivating different growings in meditation. So we can be growing different habits and tendencies to the ones that we're used to by this mindfulness of choosing, now I want this to grow here instead of this old habit that I've had or something. So we're pulling up the grass there, and then, oh, in this context, I'll leave that there. So that's just something about a kind of overall view of this inside gardening that we're doing here. The Bhava Tanhas are three thirsts, three main thirsts. And I think it's probably best I just guide the meditation, and I'll bring that in how I can. So just gently closing your eyes, allowing a little bit of light to come through. Settling into your posture, maybe with a little bit of lifting of the joints, lifting up and dropping down. Same with the hips, pushing forward a bit, one side and the other, and dropping into a comfortable place that you can sit for this time throughout this meditation. Same with the elbows, with the jaw muscles and bones, kind of finding the place where gravity allows those to sit in balance without needing to clench our teeth or put muscular effort in or strain our mind to do something with our body. Feeling the different weights. And feeling that holding of, it's not tension, but holding of the balance between sinking into the weight of the ground, the weight of our body, and also where there's some holding up, like maybe some lower belly muscles or lower back muscles that help us to keep our spine a bit alert. So we're holding this balance of relaxing into our own weight, into our own gravity pull from the earth, and also this rising up. So we're not slumped into some weird, contracted or uncomfortable posture. And coming to the first of the Baba Tanhas, the first of the firsts, which is apt because it's a very hot day today. There can be a thirst of our body, mind, heart going out towards the senses. So naturally, in everyday life, we're going to have hearing, touching, tasting, smelling, seeing, thinking. And then that can tip over. So we could just begin this exploration by feeling into which one of the six senses is most apparent, coming into your awareness now, and how much attention wants to tip towards it. How that is. Obviously not seeing because we've got our eyes closed for the moment, but hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, thinking. Thinking as mental activity, the sixth sense. It's an experiment with, in a sense, our relationship. Say there's a sound, you like that sound. You might tip towards it, want more of it, want it to last, want it to be there all the time. Or you might not like a sound, and there can be a feeling in the body of a pushing away. That shouldn't be here. I don't want that now. It's not meditative. It's not what I want right now. And maybe nothing comes now in any strong way. Or maybe a memory of a sensory diving into, where we're pulled into a wishing for more or a resistance, where we don't want a sensory experience. Maybe we just want an ice cream. But so many of our meditations can play on this shoreline, like this frontier between what's just coming naturally to our awareness because we're sensory human beings. And then there's the extra compulsions to go towards, to want more, causing stress, causing dissatisfaction, or the wish to hold on. We don't want it to end. A sensory experience, a taste, a smell, a touch, sound. A thought. And sometimes we need to find the balance with allowing the sensory world to help us in meditation, to relax into meditation. Sometimes it can be so delicious. We can use this. We can use the six senses to focus attention, to ground into awareness, to come into presence. And there's a certain delight and pleasure in that. And then sometimes we're trying to get back to that pleasure. And then there's more suffering because we can't find the same pleasure as the last time we meditated or 20 seconds ago. It's gone. So just feeling into this now, this shoreline where we tip towards. And it's really worth experimenting with the extremes to stay present and feel how it is when we go too over the edge into a thirst for a sensory experience, when we go too into the other extreme of refusing something from the six senses, not wanting that to be, wanting things to be otherwise than how they are. It's really worth playing with these extremes, not out of some weird sense, but just to feel, how is it? How is it when I dive over that edge that way? How is it when I dive over the other edge? Is something for your contemplation. to try out in your daily life as you're walking down the street, as you're talking with people, lying on your bed, riding your bicycle, in the shower, on the meditation cushion. Moving towards the second of the bhavatanhas, the thirsts, the cravings that create these dukkha's, these sufferings. That's the wish to become, the wish to exist a bit more, to attain a status, to be recognized, to be something. There can be a thirst there. And this is also not inherently something that needs to be judged and got rid of, but areas for exploration. Maybe we want to be a really good meditator, and we feel that we aren't, that we're not good enough at it, and then there's some dissatisfaction, some suffering. Or we want a job or a relationship that we can't have. There's some strain, some tension there. Or we want some beautiful genes that we saw someone else had. We want to be the person with the genes. This way of projecting a solid beingness that we believe will give us happiness and satisfaction, a grasping towards. So just checking in with this, but not like it's something terrible. Just this is part of being a human being. These pulls, we get these pulls towards, we get these thirsts, these cravings towards this becoming. Just feeling into that now, if there's anything like that in your life. Pulling towards, stretching our arms out. That will save me. Then I will be happy. If only I can be ... whatever. If only I can become. And it could be about a projected type of perfect person. If only I could be a person who always responds calmly and coolly and everybody thinks is wise. Or if only I could get some more money or land or respect. And again, feeling with tenderness where there is something wholesome in there, some need that we have that needs to be seen, that needs some recognition from others. that feels like a wholesome need. So feeling where there's this craving that's pulling us into a stretched, strained state, and where there's a deep longing for something that is true, that is wholesome. Just taking some time to feel around this subject of becoming, maybe one particular area for you. And coming to the last of the Baba Tanhas, the three thirsts, the three cravings. So the third one is the wish to not be. When life feels just a bit too difficult and we want to not be in our life. We want to disappear out of our own life. Or a complex situation we want to extricate, leave it to other people to deal with, not take any responsibility for ourselves. So like the kind of inner mood where we just want to blip out and maybe watch TV and eat pizzas without thinking or something like that. Or we want to disappear and not see anybody that we know. And again, these mind states, these cravings, these thirsts to disappear, to not exist, are not in themselves like something terrible to be judged, but part of our human package. Sometimes we want to become, sometimes we want to unbecome. So just recognizing, ah, yes, I know that feeling. In that type of situation, I know that feeling. I know what it feels like in my body when I want to just blip out and not be. And it can be really worthwhile contemplating in our meditations, whether that be in formal or informal meditation, what kind of, what's the weather like inside us when we get that feeling, so that we recognize it, not necessarily to kind of sweep it away, but to go, oh, this is what's happening. I'm in that unbecoming mood. I don't want to exist right now. I don't want to be in my life. And then we can be curious about how it feels rather than overwhelmed by and drowning in that wish. We can be curious about maybe what led us to that, what kind of situations produce that in us, and find a skillful way to either come out of it or not so easily get pulled into those situations. So maybe bringing to mind now where that resonates with you, if you've had a moment like that. And, yes, I know this. Mm, I'm just seeing how that is. But in a friendly way to our own mind moods. We're making friends with our mind moods. We're not exiling or judging them. It's more recognizing, knowing, to not get tripped up by them. To not get caught up and overwhelmed. So leaving you with some quiet time now to contemplate these three thirsts. One, the six senses, the sensory cravings, that is. The other, the thirst to become, and the thirst to not be, to unbecome. Just contemplating where these pop up. Maybe you know something about these mind moods already, the emotions that come with them. And that can be interesting to realize what we know already, to realize the wisdom we already carry within us. And just contemplate the thirsts, whichever one comes up to you. Coming towards the end of this meditation. And these are just they're tools for understanding our human experience. There are many ways to understand, and these are just some tools offered by the Buddhist teachings that could be helpful, a helpful way of looking, seeing things, feeling things. Helpful tools for the journey. So I do hope that you may be able to make use of them. And if not, we can always come back to them another time and get more into them in depth. So thanking you for your presence here this evening and wishing you a good evening with plenty of water to satisfy your thirsts and plenty of curiosity to explore these three cravings, these three thirsts, the bhavatanhas. And thank you.